Hey guys, welcome to Goza Designs channel. In today's video, I want us to have a look at some of the basics of mechanical modeling and designing. Now, if this is something that makes sense to you, kindly stick till the end of the video because I will be sharing with you some of the basics or some of the techniques that I use day in, day out to make my work more productive as a mechanical designer. With that being said, let's dive into it. Now, this is just a mechanism. Let's say, for instance, there is a continuation of the mechanism towards this side, but just that I was much concerned about how we can secure this gear on the shaft. Is that okay? How can we secure this gear on the shaft and then at the same time make this assembly a dismantleable type and in a more efficient way? Now, when we have a look at the drawing of the system of this assembly. Now we have part number one, which is the shaft, and then we have part number two, which is this key here. We have part number three, which is the spare gear, part number four, which is this cover, and then part number five, which is the screw, M12 screw. Now, why this ideology? Remember, we wanted to make this assembly in a more efficient way. So now that I'm having my shaft, the gear is also here. So how do I secure this gear onto this shaft in a more efficient way? Now, what I decided to do as a mechanical designer is that first I decided to step down the diameter of the shaft at this level. By so doing, I have restricted the movement of this gear in this direction. Is that okay? I have restricted the movement of this gear in this direction by stepping down the diameter of the shaft. Now, after that, I needed to transmit the rotational motion of the shaft to the gear. So the best way is to use a key. So the item number two is a key. So what I did is that I provided a keyway in the shaft. Let's have a look at the drawing of the shaft. So this is a model, the 3D view of the shaft. So I made a keyway in the shaft, and then after that, this key will be inserted into that keyway of the shaft. So by so doing, I have also restricted the rotational movement, the free rotational movement of this spare gear around the shaft. So meaning that the shaft and then the gear will be rotating together via the transmission listing of this key. So after doing that, I needed to restrict the movement of the translation movement of this spare gear in this direction. Remember, we have already restricted its translational movement in this direction by stepping down the diameter of the shaft at this end. So what I'm going to do is that I will be using this cover right here. Then I will just have to machine the cover in this shape to restrict the movement of this gear in this direction. So when I fit the cover in, that is not all. The gear can still come out. Is that okay? So now what I did is that I use this M12 screw to secure the cover onto the gear together with the shaft. So I made a pre-drill hole in this shaft, and then I tap it, and by the means of this M12 screw, then I have been able to secure this, or I've been able to restrict the movement of this spare gear in this direction. Now, when you look at it, I think by far this is one of the best way to secure this gear onto this shaft, because let's assume, for instance, this key has been damaged. Is that okay? This key has been damaged, so I needed to replace the key. So if, let's say, for example, maybe I decided to wall this spare gear onto the shaft, meaning that I have to replace the entire part of the mechanism is just damaged. The entire portion of this mechanism is just damaged. But because it is dismountable, I just have to unscrew this screw. I will remove my cover, pull out the gear, and then the key will be left there. I will just have to remove it, and then machine another key and replace it. So by far, this is the best configuration we can use to secure this spare gear onto the shaft. Is that okay? Now, the next thing that we want to do is to start the mechanical modeling. The visualization is very good because when you have been handed over this drawing, it may, without this 3D view, it may be, to some of the new beginners, it will be very challenging for you to visualize exactly how the components are being fitted into each other. Is that okay? It will be very difficult for you to figure out how these components have been fitted together. So uh, with the aid of 3D modeling and then visualization, things have been made a little easier for some of the new mechanical engineers to actually have a hand on the practical situation. So thank you so much. I want to make this video very short, so I will be ending it here, and then I will continue in the next video with the modeling of the shaft, after which we will be modeling the keyway. After that, we will be modeling the spare gear, the cover, and then the M12 screw. And in another video, we will be assembling the entire system in a DC. So thank you so much for your attention, and then see you next in another video.